So today I wanted to talk about the shadow of daydreaming. So daydreaming, like anything, can be done proactively. And anything that we do proactively, we're doing in the energy of the light, right? The light is proactive. So when I visualize my future, or if I visualize something I want to create, that is a proactive form of daydreaming. But the shadow version of daydreaming is when, right, it's used as a way to check out, and it's also connected to the fear of failure because it can feel like you're accomplishing a lot in your daydream, and it's actually preventing you from moving forward in your life in some way. So this might be particularly relevant to those of you who may be a 4 on the Enneagram, although it's not limited to those who are a 4 on the Enneagram. The Enneagram, the number that you're born on is where you potentially get stuck, right? And the wing is a way for you to move forward in life, a form of expansion. So one of the ways that a 4 gets stuck is daydreaming and checking out into the astral world, to the point where the astral world might be more real to you than the physical world. And so that could look like you're daydreaming, right? Maybe you're in your car and you put on a song and all of a sudden the road disappears and you see what's in your mind's eye more vividly, and maybe only seeing what's in your mind's eye, and you don't even see the road. And of course, if we have had traumatic experiences in lives where, right, we may have found solace and comfort and even the sensation of forward movement in the astral world, right? It's easy to understand why we would go there, into that place. And it's extremely seductive because, again, it simulates forward movement. It simulates, oh, I'm doing something, because after all, you can create worlds in a millisecond, right? In the astral world, you can create a universe, and that feels a lot more comfortable and a lot more, proactive than what I perceive isn't happening in my physical life. So it can be a real sticking point of where people get stuck, and I want to offer you a solution. So if you want to look at the Enneagram, one way to get unstuck from the 4 is to apply yourself to something, right? To study, to learn a new language, to preferably even doing something physical, although doing anything new is positive, because in neuroscience they've discovered that when you learn something new, when you expose yourself to something new, whether it's a new physical thing like cooking a new dish, or trying a different style of artwork, or playing a new instrument, the brain literally creates more connections. So when the hardware of our brain has more connections, we are able to discern more data in the energetic universe. So data, spectrums of light, information, ideas that were invisible to us become visible to us because we have the hardware to be able to download the software. So if you are a person who tends to get stuck in the astral world, in the daydream, try applying your mind in the physical world, because the energy, the feeling of checking out, it's a feeling of drifting away. And it feels kind of innocent, except until, right, you wake up and you're like 50 years old and you realize you've been daydreaming your whole life and how much actually got done in your physical life. I want to really emphasize that drifting off into daydreaming, if it's really a problem for you, or if it's a way that you tend to check out a lot, it could be robbing you of a beautiful life. It's more serious than it feels, because it feels seductive and pleasurable to seemingly accomplish so much in almost no time. But then the problem is that we're not wiring our brain, we're drifting, and we're not wiring our brain to help us receive thoughts that would move us forward. So I started learning a new language recently, and almost immediately, like literally like lightning strikes, immediately I started having new conversations with people. I started getting like really great business ideas, and like boom, 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 like so many things move forward. um, I in my life have disciplined myself to not enable myself to daydream, because it used to be a very strong, and it's still on some days, like especially if I have low physical energy. My ego has a strong resistance to the feeling that nothing's moving forward. So even if I'm physically exhausted and I've gone on 2 like 9-hour flights and I should just rest and be good about it, be fine with resting and doing nothing, sometimes my mind will, try to make me go for a long walk, or like, try to make me do something that feels like an achievement. And then I'll check out into a daydream where I can achieve even more, because I know that about myself, right? If I'm feeling weak, I can give in to that tendency of almost like bullying myself into um, like not just resting into the nothingness. I have to make myself feel like I'm doing something. But the problem is, daydreaming isn't doing anything unless you're doing it proactively, unless you're doing it in a creative way. So I hope I got the point across. If you check out and drift away into the astral world, that seductive astral world, please know that unless it's proactive, you are potentially robbing yourself of new information that could be a sort of bridge into a new life for you. And for those people that really have, and we all do, it's a universal wound, the fear of failure. Checking out into daydreaming is one way that we avoid that fear, because it makes us feel like we're accomplishing something, just like social media makes us feel like we have physical connections. I really hope that another thing is like, go make physical connections, make friends, keep up with the people in your life that you want to keep up with, of course, but keep real connections, because it's almost like the internet is it's almost similar to the astral world in that it gives you the illusion that you have something that you don't have. And of course, people do have some kind of connection, and they do have conversations and friendships online, but it's important for us to ground our energy in the physical world in every way that we can. And for some people, right, for some people that are a 3 on the Enneagram, that are the achiever, like daydreaming, that would be an expansion for them, but only if it's proactive, right? Only if it's proactive. That's the key. Checking out into that world, and almost like, how did it, like hours will go by, and like then you come back to your body, it's like you were just in a trance. And that's a way that we avoid reality, and that we avoid feelings that we would have to face moving forward in our life, and also just new data and information. We kind of sabotage our ability to receive new information that would literally immediately bridge you into a new life that you like. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you have a beautiful day.